Hey there, let's talk about some advice that's truly timeless, a roadmap for anyone who's trying to find their path and really succeed. This isn't about the latest productivity hacks you see online. This is about solid foundational principles from an absolutely incredible mind. Let's be real for a second. You've got that big thing you need to do, right? That paper to write, that project to start, but here you are. Look, don't feel bad about it. That feeling of knowing you should start, but just not being able to, it's something we all struggle with. But what if I told you there's a way to finally break that cycle? We're going to reach back in time and listen to some advice that's more than 60 years old, but honestly, it feels like it could have been written this morning. And it comes from a man who didn't just talk about overcoming challenges, he actually lived it. All right, so who is this person with all the answers? Let's get to know the man behind the wisdom. This is Fuat Başgil, and while he would go on to become a famous law professor, his story is about so much more than just books and classrooms. His life is a masterclass in sheer determination. Just let this sink in for a moment. After spending 4.5 incredibly tough years fighting on the front lines in World War I, what does he do? He doesn't rest. He moves to Paris to start his education. And he doesn't just get one degree. He comes back home with 4 different diplomas and a doctorate in law. This isn't just a smart guy. This is someone who was forged in hardship and understood that learning never stops. So a man with that kind of life experience, what did he figure out about success? Well, he wrote it all down in a short book for young people, and the core ideas are just so powerful. Let's break down the codes to his success. This right here is the bedrock of his whole philosophy. For Başgil, work wasn't just about a paycheck. It was about dignity. It was about standing on your own 2 feet. The thought of having to depend on someone else, he felt that was a fate worse than death. Your work is what gives you control over your own story. Now, I know this one sounds a little harsh, but think of it as some tough love from a wise older brother. He's not saying you should never have fun. What he's saying is that your youth is the best time to plant the seeds for the rest of your life. The effort you put in now, it grows exponentially. Wasting this time is like taking out a loan you'll have to pay back later with regret. But here's the crucial part. He wasn't talking about burnout or hustle culture. He was talking about productive work. The goal is not to just sit in a chair for 12 hours. The goal is to get something meaningful done. He said the value isn't in the quantity, the sheer number of hours, but in the quality and the efficiency of those hours. It's the classic difference between being busy and actually being effective. Okay, so the motivation is great, but how do we actually do it? How do we fight that little voice in our head that tells us to procrastinate? Well, Başgil gave us a super clear 5-step game plan. This is the practical stuff. And this is just brilliant. First, stop waiting for the perfect time or for inspiration to strike. The perfect time is right now. Second, focus. Finish one thing before you even think about starting another. Third, have a plan. Just 5 minutes of deciding what you're going to do can save you an hour of wasted, distracted time. Fourth, when it gets hard, don't give up. That's the whole point. That struggle is where you grow. And finally, number 5, make it a habit. Small, consistent efforts build unstoppable momentum. I want you to really let this one soak in. That feeling of being stuck, of staring at a problem that seems impossible. Başgil is telling us that with steady, consistent effort, with perseverance, those huge problems just melt away. The impossible becomes possible. It's like water carving its way through solid rock, just one drop at a time. So we've talked about the philosophy, we've looked at the 5-step method. The only thing left to do is, well, to do it. And Başgil knew that the hardest part is always taking that very first step. It's so easy to hear all this, get fired up for a minute, and then just feel completely overwhelmed. Be more productive, build better habits. These are huge goals. Where in the world do you even start? Don't worry, Başgil gave us the perfect and beautifully simple starting point. This is it. This is your first step. It costs absolutely nothing. It takes maybe 2 minutes, and you can do it tonight. Before you fall asleep, just lay there and ask yourself 2 simple questions. What did I actually get done today, and what am I going to do tomorrow? That simple act turns your life from something that just happens to you into a journey that you are consciously directing. It all starts with that one tiny habit. So the real question is, are you going to start tonight?